我刚从健身房回来，我今天碰到了一件很恶心的事情。
Today, when I went to the gym, I encountered something that really disgusted me. I've never come across such a creepy man before. I've been doing boxing and fitness for over 10 years, and usually, I don't meet people who make me uncomfortable at the gym, but today's situation was completely different. At first, when I entered the gym, he was standing on the treadmill, watching me as I walked in. I started skipping rope. And then, he just kept staring at me. You know what? Not only was he staring, but he was also secretly laughing to himself. At first, I didn't pay much attention, thinking I was overthinking things. But not long after, this man moved to the strength training area, and I happened to be there as well. Our strength area is particularly large, with many machines, barbells, dumbbells, and various single-joint training equipment. What baffled me was that, even though there were many other places he could train, he specifically walked over to the equipment I was using. What's worse, he purposely stood so close to me and, either intentionally or unintentionally, made physical contact with me while I was training. I was really uncomfortable at that moment. It felt like his gaze was constantly drifting over my body, especially when I was working out, and I could feel him staring at certain parts of me. I had this sensation of being watched, which made me feel extremely uneasy. He was staring at me, and I could see from his expression that there was this lewd smile, which was really disgusting. I originally planned to continue my workout, but I couldn't take it anymore, so I quickly fled to the farthest stretching area in the gym. At that point, besides me, there was only him and another woman. Sure enough, after about 3 minutes, that man followed me into the stretching area. I saw him standing there, staring at the woman who was doing stretches, his gaze lingering on her buttocks, completely unabashed, and even smiling. I saw all this from the reflection in the mirror, and I honestly wanted to warn that woman and tell her to be cautious of his behavior, but at the time, I didn't know what to do. After trying my best to avoid him, I went on to do some seated leg raises. While I was in the middle of it, because I was wearing a hat, I suddenly saw a pair of shoes standing next to me from under the brim. That man had actually walked over to stand beside me and was drinking water. The gym is so large, why did he have to stand right next to my equipment just to drink water? I couldn't take it anymore and immediately stopped my workout, hurriedly packed up my things, and got ready to leave. Before leaving, I went to the front desk and told the staff about my experience. I didn't have direct evidence to prove that he was harassing me, but his behavior was obviously disturbing. Especially the physical contact and lewd gaze, which made me feel really disgusted. I told the front desk staff that this man's behavior was abnormal. She said they were already aware of him, as similar incidents had happened before. But since there was no direct evidence, because he was just staring at me and didn't actually touch me, though his behavior was unpleasant, there wasn't much they could do immediately. One of the bigger trainers at the front desk heard this and said he would go over to warn the man to ensure that nothing like this would happen again. I didn't have a good workout today at all. My mood was really bad, and I felt like I had been forced to flee that place. But I still have to go there to work out tomorrow. I honestly couldn't resist wanting to punch that guy. He was just so disgusting. I sincerely hope I never encounter such a situation again.
要想日子过得好啊，杜绝媳妇儿去健身房。
If you want to live a better life, you should avoid letting your wife go to the gym. Sigh. Women should try to avoid places that are not suitable for them, like bars and nightclubs. These places are inherently not meant for women, right? The same goes for bathhouses and massage parlors. It's best to go to those places less frequently. But the last one is the gym. The gym, which seems like the safest place, often turns out to be the most dangerous one. Now, many young girls and married women go to the gym in the name of fitness, but the problem is they don't just go there to exercise. Anyone with common sense can tell that there are too many temptations in the gym. You hire a personal trainer for a lesson, and not only do you spend money, but you also spend more time. Think about it. For an hour-long personal training session, half of the time is spent on training, and the other half is actually massage time. It just doesn't sound right, does it? Not to mention, you're wearing tight-fitting workout clothes, and while practicing, your legs alternate, sometimes your inner thighs are involved, and you do standard moves. Imagine the scene. When you get home, you still text your personal trainer on WeChat, saying, "Dear, I miss you so much today." I've never seen those virtuous and well-behaved girls frequently running to the gym for workouts. Actually, those who go to the gym often are the women who are over 35 and still unmarried. They enjoy being trained by handsome trainers, so they're willing to go. This way of life and pursuit may not be suitable for every woman, especially for men with traditional views, as it is simply unacceptable to them. Look at those obedient and virtuous women, the ones who stay at home, being good wives and mothers, living within their means, wholeheartedly caring for the family. Clearly, they are not the type who would often go to the gym. After all, their lives revolve around the family and children. They don't have much time or energy to focus on themselves. They no longer pursue those superficial things. Family is their everything. In general, I think these women do well. They keep the family well and are the most virtuous.
女人很多的那种，30多岁的那种女的很多的那种。
Let me tell you, gyms, especially those with many women in their 30s, tend to be quite chaotic. So why do I say some parts of the gym are messy? First of all, most fitness trainers look good and their physiques are impressive. Nearly every trainer has a very attractive body. In this kind of environment, the atmosphere in the gym is often a bit ambiguous. Let me give you an example which I believe you can understand. I once saw a very handsome trainer in the gym. He was about 1.8 meters tall and had a very muscular physique. At that time, he was teaching a female client who seemed to be married. She was doing a movement, a backward leg kick intended for fat loss, specifically a back extension movement which you might be familiar with. While performing this exercise, the distance between the trainer and the client became a bit close, but since the trainer needed to correct her form, he had to stand even closer. So, the trainer moved closer to the female client to help adjust her posture and ensure the movement was done correctly. At that moment, because the woman had a larger chest and her tight gym clothes accentuated the movement, every time she jumped, her chest bounced along with the action. This situation easily leads to inappropriate associations. Can you understand that feeling? The up and down movement of her chest, the trainer standing so close, it creates an atmosphere full of ambiguity. Although the trainer didn't intentionally make any suggestive moves, when you're in such a situation, it's hard not to feel a sexual tension in the air. Especially when the woman looks like a married woman, has a large chest, and the trainer is handsome with a great physique and confidence. Added to this is the intimate atmosphere typical of gyms, where the personal space between trainer and client can easily lead to unnecessary connections and misunderstandings. You can imagine if these two continued to interact privately, what might happen. This kind of situation is not really the gym's fault, but rather because in the relatively closed environment of a gym, intimate interactions between people often provoke inappropriate thoughts and behavior. However, when the relationship between a trainer and a client becomes too close, especially when the trainer has an outstanding physique and looks, this environment can become highly ambiguous and give off unhealthy vibes. That's why I really dislike women going to the gym.
你们知道吗？就因为健身，我差点和我媳妇儿闹掰了。
Just because of fitness, I almost had a big argument with my wife. Many people might find it strange. Fitness should be a positive and uplifting activity, right? Why would my family oppose it? You must be curious about how I can spend so much time at the gym every day. Actually, I spend an average of 6 hours there each day. I'm sure you wouldn't believe it. In fact, during my fat loss phase in the past 2 years, I used to do 1 hour of cardio in the morning, 1 hour of strength training at noon, and then another hour of cardio and an hour of strength training in the evening. The total training time alone was 4 hours. When you factor in the time spent commuting to and from the gym, showering, and just killing time, it adds up to about 6 hours. During the fat loss process, the body becomes extremely fatigued. Plus, I still have to work during the day, and I have to prepare my meals myself. By the time I finish training in the evening, my wife is usually already asleep. As a result, we don't really have any time to communicate, and during the day, we're both busy with our own things. We have very different interests. For example, I love exercising, while she prefers shopping. I like eating healthy food, whereas she is more inclined to fried foods. Our interests are completely on different wavelengths, and over time, this difference has led to problems in our relationship. Gradually, the tension built up to a point where it finally exploded. We had a huge argument that day, so intense that it scared our family. I was really upset and felt like I hadn't done anything wrong. I don't smoke, don't drink, and don't go to nightclubs. So why was my wife opposing my fitness routine? What exactly does she want me to do? But now, looking back, I realize that I also made some mistakes. Although fitness is very important to me, the companionship of my family and wife is even more important. We cannot neglect our loved ones because of our own hobbies. As the saying goes, it takes 100 years to share a boat, and 1,000 years to share a bed. Rather than ignoring my wife for the sake of my own interests, I should cherish the people around me. Even the smallest companionship is more important than anything else.
一定别找健身的，也别嫌弃自己的老公胖。
When choosing a marriage partner, one must be cautious, especially when it comes to selecting someone who is a fitness enthusiast. Women should also avoid criticizing their husbands for being overweight or not working out. In fact, such individuals are not just pursuing an ordinary hobby, but a deep passion and commitment. This pursuit cannot be easily compromised after marriage, especially when there are a family and children. No matter what, his level of compromise will not be as great as that of a man who is overweight and doesn't work out. Fitness is not merely a hobby. It is the result of years of persistence, effort, and accumulation. It is a true passion and investment. Can you imagine what kind of support such a person would provide for you in a family? The essence of family is that one person provides support for the other, or vice versa. It is impossible for both individuals to retain most of their personal pursuits and hobbies. Many women, once they have children, find it difficult to have the time and energy to prepare fitness meals. They can hardly spare a whole day to work out throughout the year. If a girl has been into fitness for years, she would surely reserve some time for training and maintaining her figure. From another perspective, a man who has been into fitness for many years will train frequently, usually at least 4 to 6 times a week, which is close to the training intensity of a professional athlete. Now, think about it. If the man were an athlete, what would their family situation be like? Almost every professional athlete's wife has made huge sacrifices and compromises. What girl doesn't hope that her husband can provide financial security, manage family affairs, and support her emotionally? This support means that you can have your own hobbies and do what you love, but your husband will take on all the family responsibilities, whether it is handling daily chores, providing financial support, or managing time. Therefore, when getting married, never just focus on a man with a good physique, good looks, or someone who is into fitness, because none of these factors have any practical relevance to marriage.
我就搞不懂了啊，为什么有些男人不让自己老婆去健身房？这是什么原因呢？
I really don't understand why some men are unwilling to let their wives go to the gym. What could be the reason for this? First, some men view gyms with prejudice. They think that women in the gym wear revealing clothes, tight-fitting outfits that accentuate their figures, and this leads to negative associations. They believe these women are not good women. As a result, they prefer to restrict their wives from going to the gym to avoid them interacting with these women. Meanwhile, these same men often find themselves glued to their screens, staring at women in yoga pants online, sometimes even becoming addicted to it. The second reason is that these men lack self-confidence and security. They may fear that their wives will become more beautiful and confident through exercising, or that they will become better than them. They are afraid their wives will leave them, or be attracted to those men with fit, muscular bodies and six-pack abs. The third reason is the mentality of male chauvinism and a strong desire for control. Many men have an innate need for control and wish to dominate every aspect of their wives' lives. They don't want their wives to have any contact with other men, not even a simple greeting or smile, as they feel uncomfortable and believe their wives are interested in others. These men often see their wives as their subordinates, and ironically, they themselves are overweight with noticeable belly fat but refuse to change their lifestyle. Instead, they try to stop their wives from becoming better. They lack self-control over their own bodies, but they try to control their wives' fitness. This contradictory and unreasonable attitude is truly hard to understand. Of course, not all men are like this. Some men are very supportive of their wives going to the gym because they understand the benefits of exercising. I have a friend who always laughs and says, "Could you bring my wife along for the workout? I want her to exercise a bit." These men are truly rare. They understand fitness and know the physical and psychological benefits it brings, so they want their wives to improve along with them. These men are undoubtedly a rare breed of good men.
Some men who already have girlfriends or wives should be cautious. Do not let your partner go to the gym alone, or if she must go, it's better to go with you. According to relevant surveys, gyms have become a breeding ground for unhealthy relationships. The handsome guys and muscular men in the gym often actively flirt and show attentiveness. And over time, how many women can resist? Especially those who are good-looking and have great figures. The risks are even higher. Not only that, but there are many irresponsible men who go to the gym not to work out, but to find beautiful girls or wealthy women. They use their muscles and physique to attract women's attention, which greatly reduces the time cost of communication. After all, women are mostly visual creatures and emotional beings, faced with handsome faces or sexy bodies every day. If the person is emotionally intelligent, eloquent, and has refined taste, can your girlfriend really resist the temptation after spending a long time with him? This risk becomes even greater if the woman hires a personal trainer. Some personal trainers need to have close physical contact and cooperate on movements with their clients. In this process, because of the physical contact between the two, the woman may develop a sense of dependence and trust. Imagine how long it took for you and your girlfriend to hold hands or hug for the first time, while a personal trainer has already crossed that barrier in daily training. So, if they were to develop a romantic relationship, the level of physical intimacy would make their relationship develop very quickly. Therefore, if you don't want your girlfriend or wife to be led astray, it's better to avoid her going to the gym alone. Would you allow your wife or girlfriend to go to the gym alone? Please leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us, and we will continue to provide better content for you. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.